Hello, this is the 52nd lecture on Revelation and World History. We have completed chapters 1 through 6 of Revelation and World History. We have completed the first half of the 12-chapter lecture and are now entering the second half. We have covered several crucial topics in the interpretation of the book of Revelation. We have discovered the true identity of the two beasts that appear in Revelation chapter 13, the seven-headed beast. And we have come to know who the beast with two horns like a lamb is, the one corresponding to 666. We also found a community of 144,000 people. We have also historically verified the relationship between Gog and Magog and Babylon. We are now examining another important topic, the Battle of Armageddon. In this lecture, we will explore the army of 200 million. Revelation and World History, Chapter 7, Section 4. An army of 200 million. The four angels were released, prepared for the hour, day, month, and year, to kill a third of humanity. The number of the army is 200 million, and I have heard their number, Revelation chapter 9 verses 15 to 16. 20,000 times 10,000, that is, the number 200 million. It means, an army of 200 million will be mobilized to kill a third of humanity. Never in human history has an army of 200 million been mobilized to fight in a war. In the previous lecture, we interpreted the expression, a third of humanity will die, to refer to a situation where 1/3 of the world's population has become citizens of a communist country. If so, it's clear that the army of 200 million is also related to the context in which this history unfolded. So, we need to find the number 200 million in this history. Let's revisit the process by which 1/3 of humanity became communist. In 1917, Russia became communist first, and in 1922, the Soviet Union was formed by Stalin. Over the years, other republics were annexed, completing the Soviet Union, consisting of 15 republics. Then, with the end of World War II, Eastern Europe and North Korea fell to communism. By 1949, even China, a populous nation, fell to communism. Cuba and Vietnam fell to communism even later. The number of lands and people occupied by communists has reached close to 1/3 of the entire Earth. So, somewhere during this period, the number 200 million must be found. That is the total population of the Soviet Union when it was completed with 15 republics. Russia conducted its first nationwide census in 1897, during the Russian Empire's reign. According to the first national census of the Russian Empire, conducted at this time, the total population was 124.64 million. We referred to Russia and the Commonwealth of Independent States. The Soviet Union was established in December 1922, following the October Revolution in Russia in 1917. At that time, the Soviet Union covered 2,117 square kilometers and had a population of 145 million. When the Soviet Union was first formed in 1922, it did not consist of 15 republics. The four republics of Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, and the Transcaucasian Republic came together to form the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. After that, Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan became federal republics. The Transcaucasian Republic was dissolved and became three independent federal republics, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia. Following this process, in 1940, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Moldova established Soviet regimes and joined the Soviet Union. These republics formed a federation that lasted until the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991. Ultimately, the Soviet Union was completed in 1940, during World War II, with 15 republics. At this time, the entire population of the Soviet Union was 194.07 million. The number of troops of 200 million does not only refer to the number of soldiers, but also to the fact that the entire population of the Soviet Union, when it was finally established, reached nearly 200 million. After World War II, the population declined significantly. According to census data from 1950, the population was 178.54 million. And by 1960, it had surpassed 200 million. We referred to Russia and the Commonwealth of Independent States. The Soviet Union became the leading communist state. And, when the Soviet Union was finally formed, the total population of the Soviet Union was 200 million. At the end of World War II, Eastern Europe and North Korea fell to communism. Furthermore, we can see the historical context, in which countries like China, Cuba, and Vietnam became communist, completing the process of 1/3 of the world becoming communist. Now, we can find the meaning of the text. An army of 200 million killed 1/3 of the world, within the context of history. When the Soviet Union's constituent republics were established, the total population of the Soviet Union was approximately 200 million. And the fact that 1/3 of the world became communist, thanks to the coercion and power of the Soviet Union, completed the prophetic narrative of an army of 200 million killed 1/3 of humanity. The total population of countries with communist regimes, around 1989 to 1991, is estimated to have been approximately 1.6 to 1.7 billion. This represents approximately 30 to 35% of the world's population of approximately 5 billion at the time. The population, when the Soviet Union was finally formed, was 200 million. And it can be concluded that all the communist countries in the world, combined, would amount to 1/3 of the world. The seven-headed beast is the Soviet Union. The seven heads represent Lenin, Stalin, Khrushchev, Brezhnev, Andropov, Chernenko, and Gorbachev. That is, they are the seven most powerful people who ruled the Soviet Union. And Babylon will last 70 years. The Soviet Union was first formed in 1922 by Stalin. It was dissolved in December 1991, during Gorbachev's time. The Soviet Union lasted exactly 70 years. We find that the series of historical events coincides perfectly with the prophetic text, without any exception. The word Armageddon appears in Revelation chapter 16 verse 16. The word Armageddon refers to Mount Megiddo, or the hill of Megiddo. Zechariah chapter 12 verse 11 describes the mourning in the valley of Megiddo. This passage describes a war in which a coalition of nations from around the world attacks a single nation, Israel. Therefore, looking for a war in which a world coalition attacks a country is a shortcut to getting closer to the reality of the War of Armageddon. In the next lecture, we will explore Chapter 7, Section 5, the Korean War, in Revelation and World History. It was the Bible History School. If you subscribe and set up notifications, you can continue listening to the lectures on Revelation and World History.